Thank you very much, Shelby. Good afternoon. My name is Darren Ferguson, and I'm a union representative with the United Food and Commercial Workers Union. And the United Food and Commercial Workers Union has two entities, an international body and a local body. And internationally, we're 1.3 million members strong, and we represent everyone working in food processing, poultry plants, barbers, nurses, office workers, grocery workers. So we're well versed in protecting the rights of workers, promoting industries that we represent. And recently, the cannabis industry became one of those. We've been lobbying hard on the international level for several years, and we see the effects happening everywhere other than in California, go figure. Californians are very progressive thinkers. California politicians aren't. And so we run into every member on this panel talked about lobbying and legislative initiatives and how important they are. I'm here to tell you, when you go into the Capitol, it is absolutely as described, unless you go in with an army. And if you go in with an army, it changes the entire demeanor of those. And when the United Food and Commercial Workers Union calls on legislative bodies and says, we'd like to meet with you, they ask us when. Because politicians ask two questions. How many people do you represent, and how big is the check that you're going to write to me? And as terrible as that system is, that's the system. And so in California, we're up against law enforcement lobbying and teacher association lobbying every single time. That's why the children's thing becomes such a hot button issue anytime we're talking about any kind of an ordinance. So all of these entities, I've been involved with UFCW 16 years, and I've been solely concentrating on cannabis for about 1.5 years. And one of the things that I learned very quickly was that we have a lot of single body entities. And we didn't have a program that addressed that issue. And so we went back and created an associate membership program whereby anyone in the cannabis industry, patient, friend, foe, whomever, can affiliate with us and start to create a conduit where Norml knows what ACE is doing. And everyone, right now, ASA, I can praise ASA all day long, because they do great work, and today they're doing great work by having a fundraiser in San Francisco at a hockey game. In direct conflict, if you're a woman living in Vacaville, what do you do today? So these are coordinations that need to happen in order for, instead of all of these small little explosions going off in Northern California, we all need to figure out a way to communicate with one another so that we can all pull on the same rope at the same time. And if we can do that, then we can actually get some things done. We need to crawl before we walk. My personal opinion is that medical cannabis needs to be firmly foundation solid before we go recreation, because as soon as we go recreation, just like in Colorado and in Washington, there's a tax affiliated with that. And if you're a poor patient, legitimate patient, trying to get your medicine today, and you all of a sudden found yourself in a situation where you were being taxed based on recreation, $65 in the dispensary where it's tested and you know what it is, or $25 across the street on the sidewalk, you may not have a choice. So what we need to do is from seed to sale, and anyone that is committed to the industry in any way, shape, or form needs to affiliate with a body that is large enough to combat what these women are talking about, being frustrated that they can't combat with their individual chapters. All doing good work, but what we really need at this point is for everybody to join a mothership, if you will, and the funding that gets released from Washington, D.C.'s International Union, which is where our International Union is based out of, is solely based on how many members we have in our jurisdiction.